So about 19 days later, the state attorney's office wrote me and assured me that I was one of the ones that this affected. So, you know, don't do anything, just stay calm. We're taking care of it. And during this time, I really started to just thank God, and that's when he really grew me. You know, I became sure of him. I knew.
My God.
I knew what he told me was real. That was my Damascus road. And, you know, it's like he took the scales off of my eyes at that time.
And you could see.
I could see.
You know, you can truly just see, like, God, you told me this. He told you 10 years. You was going to do them 10 years.
At least.
But you know what? I love your faith. Getting that slip every month reminding you that you're going to be in here your entire natural life. But your faith was saying, I'm not. Because I know what God said.
That's right.
And I know what, you know, I know what I prayed.
That's right.
I mean, it takes a lot. It really takes some rooting and grounding, because a lot of people, when they get that sentence, they just give up and that's it. You know, but for you to continue to believe and trust God, even through that sentence, you know what? I'm telling you, that's major. That is big, because like I said, a lot of people will fall off.
That's right.
You know, I heard Pastor James' story, and I was like, oh my God, you know, just to hear his story, I was like, how do you hear, you know, a sentence like that and still trust God? And he told me, he was like, there were times when his faith was really, really shaky, because he was like, God, where are you? But one thing that I say is, when we feel like everything is just gone, everything is just out the door, I'm about to give up, God is always working behind the scenes.
That's right.
Oh, and then you'll hear this little small, still voice, and you know it's God, and you'll know, look, stop showing out, because you know I'm here. I know you're angry, I know you're upset, but I'm here. So look, that, you know what, that has blessed me. That has boosted my faith on tonight. So go ahead, Terrence, tell them about where you are now and what, you know, tell us about the day when you got released.
Going back to court, it was still a big fight. So finally I ended up back in court. The state fought it, but that point I remember the judge saying, we're going to re-sentence Mr. Smith today.
Wow. And
when I went in there, I thought, well, maybe he'll give me something I can work on, and at least I know I'll get out.
Right.
And when I stood before him, after all the smoke cleared, he sentenced me to time served. That means I would be leaving immediately.
Oh my God.
And, you know.
What did you do at that moment?
You know, my eyes started getting, you know, tearing up. And, you know, I just thank God. I was like, finally.
Finally.
And this wasn't until 2012, so it still took 2 years after.
Wow.
And the day I was released, it's like I was prepared for it, because he had told me. Then he gave me 2 more years of just him preparing me.
Right.
God was just preparing me to be released. And while I was in there, I remember telling guys, you know, I want to do this. You know, I remember praying to God, Lord, I just want to get back in college.
Right.
You know, I won't play with it now.
Right.
I'll take it serious. And so I came home, and my first 3 months, I worked, kind of got used to the stipulations I was under.
Right.
And just, you know, kind of tried to readjust myself to society. But you don't have to do that. God had already prepared me for that. Because each day for the 18 years I was there, he had been preparing me for the other side of that fence. That's why I didn't fit in there.
Right.
So the summer came of 2012. I was released in January, and I went through that summer. And I remember going out to FAMU. I enrolled. And the first class I enrolled in was construction documents. And I had a professor by the name of Rabani Muhammad. And I was like, this guy, I think he'll understand my story. And I had never shared it. And I wanted to just keep silent and just go through class. And when I shared my story with him, I found out that he was going to visit inmates on death row.
Wow. See, look at God.
Yeah, and it's just funny how we ended up together.
Right.
And right now he's been I've been under his tutelage.
Right.
He's been a mentor to me. And he's helped me with a lot of things.
Which is very important.
Oh yeah, it is. I think with the amount of time that I serve, men and women together just need that.
Right.
You need that. It's the encouragement. It's just letting you know that you belong here and you can do this.
Yes.
And through that, I was a straight A. I've been a straight A student since day one.
What? A straight A student?
And I'm a dude, I don't even know how I got out of high school, to be honest with you.
Oh my God, are you serious? So are you going full time right now?
Yes, I am, and I maintain a 4.0.
Terrence, this is awesome. I'm telling you, you go from being a troubled teenager that came from a really, really good family. You know, basically, you had a good foundation. So it's not all the time about the kids who are poor, who parents didn't have anything, who are neglected or whatever. A lot of times there are kids who have everything. But because of different situations or circumstances or their surroundings, their friends or whatever, a lot, you know, sometimes they could take another route.
Yes.
But to see you go from there, from going to prison one time, then was sentenced to life, to the rest of your natural life, to getting released and you're in FAMU, you're going to college now.
Yes.
Going to FAMU, 4.0 average.
Yes.
Oh my God, and this is awesome.
The thing is that's answered prayer, because that was one of my prayers to God. I remember asking him, say, Lord, when I knew I would be released, say, when I go back to school, just let my mind retain the information.
Yes.
Let me keep it. And I didn't always think that I would get an A in these classes. And sure enough, God just showed me.
Wow. He
reaffirmed what he had told me.
Yes.
And he just answered my prayer. And I want to just step back to the day I was released. When I left, a lot of the men who didn't have faith in what I was telling them, that I would be released.
Right.
You know, your human side comes out. And you want to sometimes, look at people like,
be like,
I told you. But I couldn't even do that.
Right.
Because when I looked at their faces, I saw that God had glorified himself.
Yes, they believe God.
That's right, because they knew what my situation was. They knew how I responded to it. Not me per se, but how God gave me the strength to just trust him. And I'm talking about guys who 2-3 life sentences.
Wow.
Guys with 30 years, 20 years, mandatory. You know, they had hope.
Yes.
That day.
And you know what? That's what it's all about. When they saw you and they know your situation, they know you, they know that you were sentenced for life.
Yes.
And they didn't even have life. They only had, maybe 30 years.
That's
At least they knew if they did their 30, they were getting out.
That's right.
But now their hope and everything that's in them is saying, you know what, God, I trust you any day now. You see, I'm a volunteer.
Yes.
I love to go in there. Color was one of our facilities.
Yes. And
my thing is, give people hope. When you bring in Jesus Christ, you don't come in there like, well, you know what you did, this, that. No, that's not what it's all about, because he comes to give life and life more abundantly. You know that, I tell him, I know what the judge decree decreed and declared over your life. But what are you going to decree and declare over your life?
That's right.
You got to speak some stuff. You got to believe God. You got to trust God that he's going to do whatever he told you to do. But the one thing about you, Terrence, when you were there, you started the rehabilitation process there. You started allowing God to really work some things out in your life. And see, that's awesome. Yeah. Because reentry, what they say about reentry starts the day that you walk in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's not about you getting out and learning how to operate outside, but preparing yourself. And that's a good word. Prepare yourself while you're there.
That's right.
And watch God and watch what he does in your life. My God, this is too good right here, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm really out of time right now. We're going to have Terrence back on the show again, because this is what it's all about. This is what makes my baby leap, to see people who have walked the walk and to see God glorify himself in their life. Y'all know, if you want to hear more about this story, you can hit me up. Go to nowismytime.org. We love y'all, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. Y'all know what it is. Get to the floor, what you waiting for? Cause we can ride the beat straight to the top. Been waiting too long, and now it's my time to show them all that it's not a game. And I don't care what I'm looking like, I just gotta show you that I'm not going nowhere. Feel about it, I don't doubt it. Show me that you're showing up about it, about it.
Life in the Now TV would like to thank the following partners. Private Gallery, official clothing sponsor of Life in the Now TV, right at 1345 Thomasville Road. Private Gallery, call them for the latest and greatest in fashion. 850-222-1000. Also, Marco's Pizza, 2 locations, Thomasville Road and Magnolia Drive. Marco's Pizza, authentic Italian pizza. And do you know that these stories of successful reentry are brought to you by the Discovering You Project? We're all about teaching purpose in prison facilities all over the state of Florida. You can find out more or request us to come in to do a Discovering You project, or support us by going to our website at nowismytime.org or calling 850-359-2065. The conversation just kept going. Terrence's story was awesome. Here's some behind the scenes.
I'm telling you, these situations right here are testimonies for you, for somebody else, for your family member who's out there, who you believe in God that they're going to be released and their life is going to be changed. Terrence, one thing that you said about you told God, don't release you until he knew you were ready.
That's right.
And I mean, that was bold for you to say that. That was bold. I don't know how many other people would actually say that while they were locked up, but that was bold, and God always honors his word. Yes. What is it, in these last few minutes, what is it that you would, advice that you would give that mother, that sister, that auntie, or that wife who has a loved one that's locked up, or incarcerated in prison or whatever? What would you tell them? Because a lot of times we want to talk to the offender, but there's a family who's suffering, who wants their family member to be out. What would you tell them to do? Pray? What would you, support them? What advice would you give the family members?
Just to continue to keep their faith, to pray for them, and to trust what their family member is telling them.
Right.
It just takes one day and one word from God just to change your life. You'll wake up one day and all of that garbage that you used to get into, it'll just be gone. And you won't even have a desire for it.
My God.
And that's like today, just the things that God showed me, I'm living.
Yeah.
I'm on the conceptual stage now, starting a nonprofit that helps those poor families and those, awesome. And also we want to educate. And I want to be able to go back into the prison and just give guys that hope. Just let them know, don't give up.
That's what it's
don't
all
never
about.
Give up.
Yes.
Trust God.
Trust God. I'm telling you, look, I got that. I'm taking that word for myself, because y'all know a lot of us are free. We're out here. We're not in Wakulla. We're not in Gaston. We're not locked up behind bars. We are locked up in our mind, and we got to be free in our mind. So to everybody who's really believing God for something today, trust God. Terrence just said it very nicely. Hold on to the word that God has given you and trust him with all that you have.